My First Job, hosted by Mike Wood, only on the Purple Acorn Network.
Hey friends, we have a new edition of My First Job, hosted by me, your host Mike Wood, on the Purple Acorn Network, and I'm very excited today to talk to Sean Luchens. I probably butchered your last name. I'm not very good with names, but thank you for being on the show. Sean, can you tell everybody who you are, where you are, and what are you doing?
Yeah, Mike, you are not the first person to hurt my last name, so no worries. So, Sean Luchens, live in Western Massachusetts and work for Vizier currently.
Oh, great! So I didn't even realize you're out in Massachusetts. I'm in central Massachusetts, out by Mount Wachusett. If you know where that. So whereabouts
I
in West?
do, yeah. So when early in my career in Massachusetts, I guess what I would call my second career, my professional career, we lived in Townsend and worked at Monster and Fidelity in that side. And I know you're just for the point where Massachusetts people think it's Boston, Worcester, then California. So you're just
Yeah.
near that line. Yeah, but
It
we're
gets
about 2 hours
a
from
little
you.
weird out here. Once you start venturing into Gardner, it gets even weirder. But great to meet another Bay Stater that's out in the affordability zone where I am, which is away from the city. But welcome to the show, and I'm very excited to learn about what your first job was. So lay it on me. What was your first job?
So I started in the restaurant business. So I was a dishwasher, and I worked for the Elks Club. The BPOE is, are they the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks, which internally they always told me was the best people on earth. But yeah, worked in the kitchen, and paid half paycheck, half cash, which I don't think you can do that stuff anymore, right? And then stayed in the restaurant business through school. Like it became kind of how I paid for things, how I went through, and interesting. One of the things that drew me to this was I think a lot of the skills you learn in the hospitality industry become very translatable to your professional career.
Yeah, so expand on that a little bit, if you could. Like, so what do you remember? Like the first things you kind of had to deal with, and how you were probably like 15 or 16 at the time.
Yeah, this is when we sound like we also walked to school uphill both ways, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was 14 when I started. And worked through. I think a couple of things. I think you work with people from different walks of life. The customer service skills you learn in the hospitality industry, they're very translatable. And to be honest, the people you deal with that are angry at a bar or a restaurant, a bar particularly at closing time, makes anyone you deal with in a professional world like not a huge deal to tackle, right? It's all just relative. And then one of the things I learned, I still remember her name, the first time I learned to be a server, wait tables, I learned from a lady who was 60 some years old.